Although Constellation's Episode 6 raises several more questions about how the series will resolve its storyline in its last 2 episodes, it brings a semblance of resolution to many underlying mysteries. Although Constellation has been cleverly going back and forth between 2 universes from its opening episode, the show has primarily unfolded from Joe or Alice's perspective. In Episode 6, however, Constellation takes a completely different approach that draws a clearer picture of what is happening to the main characters. Instead of focusing on Joe's point of view, Constellation Episode 6's narrative unravels through Paul's eyes. Nearly everything that happened in the first 5 episodes of the show repeats itself. However, this time, it is Paul who is experiencing it all instead of Joe. While this may initially seem confusing since Paul was revealed to be dead in the show's initial episodes, it ingeniously provides answers to several nagging questions. Is Paul dead in Constellation Episode 6's ending? Paul's fate after Constellation's Episode 6 seems uncertain. Constellation's Episode 6 confirms that after Paul triggered the Cal experiment on the ISS, the experiment fractured the fabric of space and time and caused 2 alternate universes to converge. To avoid confusion, one universe can be called the Bud universe, and the other can be labeled as the Henry universe since Bud and Henry are the same people from parallel realities. Henry was the one who sent the Cal experiment with Paul to the ISS. As Episode 6 confirms, the Paul, who triggered the experiment, did not die. Like Joe swapped places with her alternate self, moving from the Bud universe to Henry's, Paul did the same by moving from the Henry universe to Bud's. Meanwhile, as confirmed in Constellation's Episode 6, Paul and Joe's alternate versions died in space after the ISS accident. After swapping universes with his parallel universe counterpart, Paul, like Joe, gradually becomes aware of how he has landed in the wrong universe. Therefore, to learn more about what is happening to him, he reaches out to a familiar face, Bud Caldera. However, since he is originally from the Henry Caldera universe, he believes Bud is Henry. As a result, when he shows up at Bud's doorstep, he keeps insisting that he is Henry, the accomplished astronaut who made his nation proud. Previous episodes of Constellation established that Bud and Henry have found a way to contact one another, and Bud has been growing frustrated about Henry living a better life than him. Owing to this, when Paul incessantly calls him Henry, Bud takes out his gun and shoots him. Although Constellation Episode 6 does not confirm Paul's fate, he could be dead. Why Bud shoots Paul in Constellation Episode 6? Bud's hate for Henry reaches a tipping point. Jonathan Banks looking serious as Henry Caldera in Constellation. Many clues in Constellation's early episodes suggest that Henry and Bud are not in their original universes. In their original universes, both were a part of the Apollo 18 mission. While Bud's mission was going well and all his fellow astronauts were set to survive, something went wrong on Henry's side, and 2 astronauts died. However, as Bud's anger and frustration towards Henry suggests, he and Henry somehow swapped universes, leading to Bud facing the dire consequences of Henry's disastrous space mission. Meanwhile, Henry reaped the benefits of Bud's Apollo 18 success. As a result, Henry became a heroic figure, while Bud was gradually forgotten by the rest of the world. Considering how Joe was originally from the Bud universe, this could explain why she does not recognize Henry when she meets him after returning from space. Over time, the universe swap seems to have taken a severe toll on Bud's mental health. Episode 6 establishes that he cannot help but question whether he actually changed places with Henry or is only losing his mind. Therefore, when Paul keeps calling him Henry, he reaches the end of his wits and fires his gun at him. Will Joe ever return to her original universe? Joe's Constellation journey is a metaphor. Constellation's Episode 6 resolves many mysteries surrounding the alternate universes in the overarching storyline. However, one big question still looms large: how will Joe return to her original universe? If Paul is alive after being shot at, will he be able to find a way to return home to his real wife and daughter? If characters could switch universes at will, it seems likely that Bud would have tried to do the same. However, considering that only Henry possesses the technology to break space and time, Bud may be incapable of achieving the feat.